You ever wake up thinking you know how your day's gonna go, then find your wife in handcuffs on your front lawn, while your neighbor smirks from her porch like she just won the lottery? Yeah, that was me at 6 in the morning, standing in my Phoenix driveway in pajamas, squinting through the glare of patrol car lights, and wondering how the hell life could get this sideways. The smell of creosote and something like justice hung in the air. And then Elena, my wife, just calmly pulled out her badge. That's when everything flipped. Picture this. The HOA president, Brenda. Picture a woman who would fire off a noise complaint at a falling leaf. Thought she'd orchestrated the arrest of the century. She even called Channel 12 News, like she was directing a true crime special starring us. She'd reported federal impersonation and ongoing criminal activity. I know, sounds like the plot of a B-movie, right? The cop, reading straight from Brenda's script, says, "Ma'am, you're under arrest for impersonating a federal officer." My wife, not missing a beat. "Officer, may I show you my Department of Justice credentials?" She flashes the badge. Brenda's smug little grin? Gone faster than rain off summer asphalt. So, what do you do when your neighbor tries to get you arrested for doing your actual job? I'll tell you, but you're not going to believe half of it. Let's rewind. 18 months back. My name's Marcus. 45, Navy vet, now a telecom contractor. Thought I'd landed in suburban paradise. Couldn't have been more wrong. Elena, my wife, she's got this presence. 15 years with DOJ, Financial Crimes Division. The kind of woman who makes criminals sweat just by walking in a room. But to our neighbors in Willowbrook Estates, she was the lady who sleeps till noon. That's how it is out here. Lawns clipped to regulation length. Mailboxes painted the exact shade of beige from the handbook. American flags at precisely the angle set by the CC and RS. The air itself smells like grass, hope, and a bit of desperation. And Brenda, our glorious HOA president. Imagine a bank manager forced into retirement, channeling all that need to micromanage into terrorizing her neighbors. Clipboard, pink tracksuit, orthopedic shoes. She was the 7 a.m. alarm for the whole street, hunting for the next big infraction. From day one, she zeroed in on Elena. Because, when you leave at midnight for surveillance and drive different government cars, that's not just different, that's suspicious. Brenda would whisper loud enough for the block to hear. Normal people have normal jobs. What's she really doing for money? That gossip stuck like humidity, uncomfortable, hard to breathe through. Then Elena got assigned a major crypto fraud case. More late nights, more government vehicles, more gear. Brenda was convinced she'd cracked some neighborhood conspiracy. One October morning, Elena's sitting in her unmarked sedan in our driveway. Vest under her jacket, earpiece in, doing real federal work. Brenda spies her and decides this is her moment. 20 minutes later, she's banging on my door, face all red. This ends today, Marcus. Impersonating a police officer is a federal crime. She thrust a violation notice at me, like a TV lawyer serving papers. You've got 24 hours to stop this, or I'm calling the police. I tried to explain, big mistake. No misunderstanding, Brenda barked. I've documented everything. She's destroying our property values. The notice, $500 per day until compliance. Elena read it, laughed hard. 15 years taking down criminals, and I get a violation for looking like myself. But we had no clue Brenda was about to drag us, and herself, into something so much bigger. Brenda, never one to let a vendetta go cold, went full campaign mode. Emergency HOA meeting. Lawyer hired at $300 an hour. Certified letter, thick as a phone book, arriving Thursday. Notice of formal HOA hearing. Ongoing criminal impersonation. Legal threats flying. I kicked into Navy mode. Know your rules. Flipped through the CC and RS. Found gold on page 47. HOA presidents can't authorize more than $250 in legal expenses without a board vote. Brenda had blown right past that, alone. Even better, Board members could be personally liable for unauthorized expenses. So I filed a counter-complaint, demanded Brenda pay back the community. Meanwhile, neighborhood Facebook blew up. Brenda posted crop photos of Elena in gear, captioned community safety concerns. Half the street started debating. Team Brenda, dangerous activities, declining property values. Team Elena, she keeps to herself, has the best lawn. Brenda's next move? Organizing a community safety meeting, PowerPoint, slides labeled signs of criminal activity. 30 residents, tension so thick you could chew it. Elena's phone rings, her supervisor on a case. She steps out, talks federal agent talk. Brenda seizes her moment. Did you hear that? Military time, surveillance talk. This is exactly what I've been warning about. Elena comes back to her room, full of glares. Brenda hisses, I was just explaining how seriously the FBI takes impersonation. Elena, cool as ever. You should definitely call the FBI. Brenda, oh, I will. That night, under the desert stars, Elena shakes her head. She has no idea what's coming. And she really didn't. Because while Brenda was preparing to report a real federal agent, she was about to blow up her own world. Monday, Brenda marches into the sheriff's office, binder in hand, files a police report, federal impersonation, criminal enterprise. I only know because Officer Rodriguez called me later. Try not to laugh. Marcus, is your wife running some kind of con game? Because this lady brought in enough paperwork to prosecute a war crimes tribunal. Photos, logs, transcripts, even printed articles about impersonation penalties. She'd basically created a federal case against a federal agent. But here's the kicker. When you report impersonation, cops check the suspect's vehicle. Elena's sedan came back as an active DOJ asset. Rodriguez shows up. Elena hands over her badge and ID. Everything checks out. Rodriguez apologizes. I had to follow protocol. Elena cracks up. Surveillance activities that threaten property values? That's a new one. But Rodriguez warns. Filing false reports against federal agents is a federal crime. 5 years, Title 18, Section 101. Brenda, meanwhile, is watching from her window, probably hoping for a perp walk. She gets a handshake and a laugh instead. That night, she storms over with backup. Where are they arresting her? Brenda demands. Turns out, Elena actually is a federal agent. I say, silence. Harold steps back like he might catch federal agent cooties. Brenda sputters. That's impossible. You fooled them too. I'm calling the FBI. And she did. Filed a 40-page complaint online. Screenshots, timelines, witness statements, traffic patterns. Enough evidence to start a Cold War. The FBI's field office got it. And by afternoon, Special Agent Thompson called Elena, amused. We got an interesting complaint about you. Elena nearly spit out her coffee. Sir, I'm working on a crypto case. Nothing operational. Thompson, after a 20-minute call, offers to explain federal law to Brenda personally. Elena just laughs. Let me handle it. Meanwhile, I filed a FOIA request for Brenda's complaint. What came back? Conspiracy theories about Elena's work schedule, suspicions of money laundering, and even espionage. But now, Brenda wasn't just petty. She was crossing into felony territory. Elena's boss, Olivia, had been following along, growing more concerned. This is a pattern of harassment, she told Elena. It could affect your job. Elena tried one more diplomatic approach, revealing her credentials at the next HOA meeting. Brenda, feeling invincible, called an emergency session, Channel 12 in tow. She claimed she was going to expose a federal cover-up. But what Brenda didn't know, while she was busy building a federal conspiracy case, I was doing what Elena taught me. Follow the money. I've been looking at the HOA's finances. $180,000 collected annually. But our expenses? Sky high. $23,000 paid to a consulting company nobody had seen. $31,000 to a landscaping service. No difference in the grass, except the dead palm tree. The real kicker was the credit card. Grocery stores, department stores, even vacation rentals in Sedona. It was classic embezzlement. Fake companies, fake invoices, payments to herself, all covered by aggressive leadership. I brought in Roberto, a retired CPA neighbor. His eyes lit up. She's got shell companies, fake invoices, personal expenses. This is beautiful. Sarah, a former paralegal, new HOA law. Removal required a 2/3 vote, but embezzlement changed everything. Tom, a retired Marine MP, helped us gather evidence and prep witnesses. Jennifer, our social media ace, documented it all. Roberto traced $47,000 over 2 years gone. Desert Management Solutions, Pinnacle Landscaping, Willowbrook Security Consulting, Shells, all of them. Sarah pulled up Arizona law. Class 3 felony if you steal over $10,000. Brenda was toast. Brenda, sensing something, went into panic mode. Emergency board meeting, agenda all about restructuring and security. Roberto heard she was shredding documents. Jennifer filmed her at the community center, feeding the shredder like a wood chipper. Phone calls and threats flew around the block. She even left a voicemail for Elena's boss, accusing her of using federal resources for intimidation. At the board meeting, Brenda tried to ram through motions for new security firms run by her, rules to hide the books, $500 emergency assessments. But her answers were getting wild, and residents were starting to ask questions. Elena's supervisor called. Turns out Brenda had filed complaints with the FBI, DEA, ATF, even Homeland Security. Tuesday night was showdown night. Brenda decked out the community center, projection screens, evidence tables, dramatic lighting, Channel 12, cops, federal reps, the works. She kicked off with a PowerPoint about criminal surveillance, i.e., Elena gardening in tactical pants. Then she unveiled coded emails, real DOJ communications she'd obtained somehow. Officer Rodriguez finally stood up. Where did you get those emails? Brenda, a concerned citizen. Rodriguez, intercepting federal communications is a crime. Brenda, desperate, demanded Elena's immediate arrest. That's when Elena stood up. Calm, badge out. I'm Special Agent Elena Vasquez, DOJ. Want to call headquarters? Silence. Brenda shrieked, fake. You're all in on it. Then Roberto stepped up, projected spreadsheets, bank statements, vendor lists. He broke it down. Desert Management, $31,000 to a P.O. box Brenda controlled. Pinnacle Landscaping, $16,000, nothing done. Community Credit Card, Walmart, Target, Sedona Resort. The dam broke. People yelled about maintenance, landscaping, repairs. Elena delivered the final blow. You spent 6 months filing false reports against a federal agent while stealing community funds. Rodriguez, Mrs. Hutchinson, based on the evidence, you're under arrest for theft in the first degree. The same handcuffs, this time on Brenda. She shouted, you'll all see the truth. Elena just smiled. Ma'am, the truth did come out. Just not the way you thought. The room erupted. News cameras rolling, residents chanting, justice, justice. It was the most satisfying ending you could hope for. Within days, the story went viral. HOA president arrested for stealing from her own community after trying to have a federal agent arrested. Brenda pled guilty, paid back every penny. The new board created a scholarship fund with the recovered money. Elena chairs the advisory board. Roberto manages the accounts. Sarah keeps us legal. Tom runs security. Jennifer does communications. Real ones this time. Our HOA became a model for the whole region. Even property values jumped, not because of stricter rules, but because people finally trusted their neighbors. And a lesson? Always follow the money. Document everything. Don't ever underestimate what a bunch of fed-up neighbors can do when they work together. Sometimes karma comes with a badge, a spreadsheet, and a whole lot of community spirit. So now I gotta ask, what's your worst HOA horror story? Drop it in the comments. I'm willing to bet some of you have seen stuff that makes this look like a Sunday picnic. And if you like seeing justice served, stick around, because this country has plenty of Brendas just waiting to be exposed.